All right, so we are recording now. All right, so y'all should be able to see our screen. This is the performance management tool in Exponent HR. Right now, we are assuming the rights of Casey Maglich. She is one of the VPs here in the Austin office. We did create a fictitious employee, so we will not be seeing anything in particular regarding an actual employee. It is going to be based off of a fake employee. So when you log into Exponent HR, let me find my mouse. There you go. You're going to have the management tab. And under your management tab, under HR admin is where you're going to find performance management. And that is where we are at. This is your performance management dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and let Miss Amanda take over. Again, if y'all have questions, feel free to ask, but we're also going to be checking in very frequently.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for your time this afternoon. I appreciate it. Definitely had some good discussion in our first meeting today. So I think we'll hopefully be able to answer some questions this afternoon. And like Lydia said, anything that we need to circle back to, we can. Definitely want to say the videos that were sent out prior to our meeting today were super important. So if you didn't have a chance to watch those videos, just bear with us. You may still feel a little bit lost if you weren't able to watch those videos. The great news is, and Lydia, if you'll show them the video camera up there, these videos are permanently embedded within your Exponent HR. I like to have these pulled up on a second screen and have it go step by step with me if I'm trying to do a new process. I am not an end user of Exponent HR. I am a trainer. They don't give me access to your data, and for good reason. And I have lots of clients who do things lots of different ways. So there are some nuances that are specific to Goodwin, and Lydia or Tammy may have more insight into. But I will do the best I can to get you from start to finish and answer any clarifying questions. But definitely just want to reiterate how important those videos are. So please take your time to watch them if you're stuck. And we'll go, but I'll do my best here. So, all right. So we are looking at Casey's dashboard, and she has 4 different tabs along the center of her dashboard. Up at the top, we've got the review year drop-down box. So right now we're doing 2024 annual reviews. And so it's defaulted to 2024. You're viewing it as, we're reviewing it as Casey. If you have the ability to view as someone else, you'll see someone else in the drop down, but it just depends on what your access rights are. So if you're a manager to other managers, then you most likely would be able to see the other manager's view as well. We have 3 options here in this show drop down box. Owned reviews are your direct reports. Those are reviews that you are directly responsible to based on the organizational management tree, how it's set up. Team reviews may be the same as your owned reviews. However, if you are, again, a manager to managers and you have downline employees that report to someone underneath you, the team reviews view will allow you to see those additional employees that are not your direct reports, but they're in your downline. All employee reviews, if you have access to see all employee reviews. When you select that, they would be populated, but it will restrict you based on what access you have in the system already.
So one thing to note real quick, I did not mention this earlier. We are in a non-live testing site. So anything we're doing here is not really saving to the system, just so y'all are aware. And then it does not hurt if you want to open up your Exponent HR and maybe walk through at the same time we're doing this so that you can see what you have, what tabs you have, and what those views look like. It might just make it a little bit easier if you're walking through it instead of just watching it with us. But it's just a suggestion. You do not have to do it.
Absolutely. And anything within performance management can, if you create a goal and you just are like, oh, I just wanted to play with it. See, you could always go back and delete that goal. So don't be too scared of it. But yeah, whatever helps. Everybody has different learning styles. All right. So when Casey first logs in and goes to her performance management dashboard, she's going to see on her outstanding tasks tab what she needs to do. So currently she's got her monthly reviews that need to be done for January. So she has a reminder there. It gives her the due date, and there's an icon that says they're overdue. And so she'll know immediately upon, viewing that dashboard, kind of what her priorities are, what she needs to get done. We did have an annual review up there for our fake employee. And so we no longer have that annual review because we submitted it in the first session. But it would say same thing, deliver or submit annual review. And so now we have, now we can deliver our monthly review. We've had some fun, y'all. This, again, is a training environment. It doesn't always function as smoothly as a live environment does. So there are maybe some hiccups along the way. So I appreciate y'all's patience. Anyway, but this is your, your to-do list, right? So you can filter based on what you want to see. If you want to filter on annuals versus monthly, if it's too busy for you, feel free to use those filter options and, make that view much more friendly to you. Where we get started is in our goal management tab. So this is where you as a manager are going to be setting up goals for your employees. Now, there is a caveat to establishing goals. A goal has to be activated on an annual review before it can be copied to a monthly review. Okay? And when you think about the logic behind that, it makes sense, right? If you're tracking something on a monthly basis, then you're going to want that overall arching annual view of that particular goal, right? So under your actions tab, you have the add employee goal option. And so when you click on that, it's going to open up this box here. And let's just start with, our employee disaster. She is my favorite person. Her parents loved her when they named her, and you can tell. So she is a disaster waiting to happen. All right, so we have her name selected. We've got our due date options, our percent complete, and our review year. So be sure that you're checking to make sure that these are correct, right? If you're working on a monthly review, we're not going to have 2024 pulled up, right? We're in 2025. So if you're doing a monthly review, which we won't do yet because we have to set this at an annual basis, just be sure you're changing those items to match what you're trying to accomplish. All right. So for now, we're going to do a goal on a 2024, so it can be on an annual. We're typing in our title and description. And as you can see, the display on is grayed out. It is automatically going to go on an annual review so that it can, be anchored, basically. It's anchored to the annual review. All right, so we're just going to hit approve. I was afraid that was going to happen. All right.
What did we do?
Well, we can't submit it to because we already submitted our annual.
Okay.
Yes, we learned something in the first class. We shouldn't have submitted the annual review, but we're trying to see it from start to finish. Okay. But if you scroll down, and so basically that would populate right here under her name. So you would be able to see that goal. Okay. So we created these earlier on her annual review. Same process we just did, except you will not get an error message unless that employee's annual review is,
Already submitted.
already submitted. All right, so you can check the box next to that goal that you created and go up to actions and copy to other employees. All right, and so you have the option here to move to remove those employees over to, however many you need to copy it to. If it's a goal that's only specific to a handful of your team members, or if it's a goal that's, for all of your team members. And then again, be sure you're selecting the right year. So if we're wanting it on, we're 2024 annual review, that's what we need to be on because 2025 hasn't come out yet. All right. All right, so now we've got these employees who have these goals. So if you will expand on disaster. So she has a goal that has not been edited yet, but I want to draw your attention to the fact that on the few that we have worked on in our previous session, you see the percentage completed, the status of the goal, and then JE stands for journal entry, which you can add directly from clicking on add. And if one exists, you'll see that little J symbol next to it. But journal entries are a way for you to take notes. So when you're adding goals for employees, this is your opportunity to document things that have happened within the past, month or annual review period, whatever you're working on. And you have the option whether or not it is visible to employees when you're adding journal entries. So you can put a note to myself, hey, I'm watching, this trend I'm kind of seeing. I want to keep an eye on it, but you don't necessarily want to make that visible to the employee, right? Because it may just be a bump in the road. They're having a bad week, and we're going to give them, the full month to evaluate their performance. All right, so leave that as no. You don't want that visible to the employee, and then save. And then that will be visible only to you and if you or your manager above you who can see your employees' reviews. All right. Any questions on the basic adding of a goal? Okay, we're going to move on then. All right, so Dee now has 4 goals in her monthly review. And so we've added everything that we need to add at this point. And so we want to go in and make sure that all of those updated or all the fields are updated that we need to. So we need to make sure that the percent complete and any required comments are entered into that goal.
So real quick, let me, this is Lydia. As y'all are meeting with your employees on a monthly basis for your monthly one-on-one check-ins, you have to just come into each of those goals that you've established for those individuals and just make sure you're checking in and putting some type of update, whether it's updating their percentage, adding in a journal entry. And you're going to do that like from Casey's home screen from her outstanding tasks. These are all due by February 14th. These are for her January. So for last month, they are due. This is the due date. So she should have already submitted them. She has them completed. She was just wait. And again, this is a test site, but we pulled down data from last week. She had them completed, but was waiting for us to do the training to see if there was anything she needed to go in and edit. So what you do in February, you're going to be meeting with them in March, by March the 14th, to go in and kind of review everything and check off that you've done your monthly one-on-one. So each month, you're going to come in here and look at their goals, make updates on those percentages, and submit that monthly one-on-one. And those are here. So we're going to look at Angelo.
Up to you.
So this is the information that Amanda was just talking about. You have to make sure that everything is updated, everything is entered in here so that you can submit it. Otherwise, you're going to get a pop-up or an error saying that information is missing. So this is the review period 1/1 of 2025 through January 31st of 2025. It's got the due date, shows you just basic information on who reviews and who the approver is. And Amanda will go into this later. Each of you will need to determine from your supervisor what your level of approval is. Submit basically means if I, as Casey, submit this, it's going to go to Matt, for Mr. Matt Gibson, for him to review and for him to approve. Now, if Matt doesn't want to be involved in that, or if your manager doesn't want to be involved in having to look at 50 other reviews using CAMs specifically, because y'all have so many CAMs underneath y'all, your manager may not want to do that. They may tell you, you've got the authority to go in and review and approve everything. I don't have to see it unless you've got a one-off and you want me to, collaborate with you and let's figure out what we should do with this person. That's when you would submit it and they would approve it. But if they're telling you that you have the right to approve everything, then you go in and approve. So that is the difference between a submit and approve. Now, save, you just save it as a draft. Maybe you got, an emergency came up, the employee had to leave, or you had to run into another meeting, y'all didn't close it out. Let me meet with you again next week. You're saving just to save it for you to follow back up on and not have to recreate the will for this specific check-in. So that's what these tabs are going to do. So for Angelo, we've got where are you with your expectations? We're going to show more here. If they're exceeding, on track. If they're on track, these are the questions you want to be asking them. And if they're behind, what are we doing to make sure? Like for that journal entry I just put in, that D had missed deadlines 2 months in a row. That's if I'm behind, what do I need to do to get them to catch up in the next 30 days? So these are things for you to follow up on, kind of as a refresher for you. So if you've got 20 employees that you're reporting to, it's going to be hard to keep up with all of those. So just know these are your notes, and it's required that you put something in here before you can approve. So let's see. Follow up on deadlines. Missed or on time. This is just notes for me. Exceeding on 2 of 3 goals. I don't remember how many. I think we had 4. But this is, again, just stuff for you to put in. And then if there are other journal entries, see if they're here. I don't know why it's not showing there. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and approve, because at this point, Matt's already told me, hey, Casey, go ahead and approve those. I don't need to see them. So that was for Angelo, correct? That's who I was under?
I believe so, yes.
And
All right, so now that we have approved the goals, we have the ability to deliver that to the employee. So once you're ready, and once you have all of those goals in there and you've made your necessary comments and updated your status of completion, then you will deliver that to the employee. What we're not able to show you is how, when you go in, when you add that goal, let me just think of my wording here. Apparently, I'm stumbling over my words. When you put a goal on an annual review, you can go into that annual review, copy that goal over into their monthly reviews, and then you will see those reviews on the monthly as well, or see those goals. And you can update percentages there. That is in the video titled Goal Management. So I encourage you to watch that specific video if you have not already, and you'll be able to see how you're able to copy those goals over into the monthly from the annual. And then it would have that annual goal there, and you would have the 1, 2, 3, either meets expectations, exceeds expectations, or needs improvement, and would have that rating for that annual goal.
so this is just the monthly.
Mhm.
So the monthly, we've already met with Angelo. Angelo understands everything we went through. I updated my portion. Now I'm going to deliver it to him. So what that means is for him, when he logs into Exponent HR, he's going to get a notification saying you've got a performance management monthly check-in, or I think it says it's a monthly performance management review available to review. Warning, the employee will immediately be prompted to acknowledge the review. Any in-person discussion should be completed or scheduled prior to this delivery. So you don't want to do this if you haven't gone over this with them, because everything that you've put in here visible to him or her is what they're going to see. So they're confirming, are you sure you want to send it? So we're saying yes. So that automatically submits that review from us to Angelo.
So yeah, so Angelo will get a notification on his dashboard and will be able to go in and acknowledge that review. You can also, if you go in, click on Angelo again. Let's go into his, even though it shouldn't have submitted. But anyway, go to options. Go to employee view. Okay. So this is where you can see what Angelo will be asked to do. So it's where are you with your expectations? So they'll be able to see the comments that were made, any journal entries that were visible to the employee, and then the employee will be able to acknowledge that review. They also can print a copy if they'd like. So can you, if you need a hard copy.
This is the employee view?
What? Yep.
Oh, I see. It took off the journal entries. Okay.
Yep.
But they can see my comments.
Correct.
So you
Yes.
don't want to call them out on anything that you don't want them to see here.
Yeah, make sure on those journal entries that you are specific with the yes or no. So you don't accidentally.
But on the reviewer comments, that's going
Correct.
to automatically be there.
Correct. Those
Okay.
are not optional. Those are visible to the employee.
Okay. So again, just so you know, y'all are getting a different training session than the first one did. We're both collaborating on this one versus the first one. It was more Amanda and us kind of putting out fires. So outstanding task, a review is just going to show you what you have that is outstanding for your current month, whether it's monthly reviews or annual. And then of course you've got your little overdue marks here. This one's not overdue anymore because I've already submitted it. So this is the link for me to deliver that to disaster. Now we'll go into goal management. We already did the actions at employee goals. We've already gone over how to do journal entries. Do you want to go over the approve and reject goals?
Yes. So an employee has the ability to go in and add goals for themselves. It's not required under the way we have you guys set up, but it's optional. An employee, let's say, for example, they might want to complete a training course over the course of the year, or they want to get a certain certification. And so they put a goal in for themselves to complete that certification. You have the ability as a manager to go in and approve that goal or to reject it. So if an employee sets a goal for themselves that isn't feasible, let's say the company is no longer paying for those certifications anymore. So unfortunately, that's not something that we're going to include in your performance review. Then you can actually, reject that goal and let the employee know that they're going to need to set up something different. Or if it's, if they're very goal oriented, set up some goals for themselves and you're like, man, that's great. Fantastic. Let's track this. You can approve those goals for the employee. You can also complete goals, straight from here. You can delete or cancel goals. We always forget to check the box.
Yes.
You have to check the box before you go to the actions tab.
So we're going to look at these two here. In the first training course, we had went in and updated their percentage as far as their completion to 70% and 10%. Well, guess what? Who are we under? Disaster was on the ball this month and got everything completed. She is caught up with everything. She's rocking and rolling and ready to move on to a new goal. So these two goals have been completed. She's at 100% now. So we're going to go to actions and complete these goals. Are you sure you want to complete them? Yes. So she successfully completed those two goals. So now D only has two more. So it's only going to show you the ones that have not been completed. So her 4 of 4 are now down to 2 of 2 because she's at 100% on the two that we just closed out. So if you don't have any notes to put into the system specifically for those goals, you can just come in and do it a little bit quicker. It makes it easier for you. You can hold your documentation. You can keep up with that stuff and, by yourself. As long as you know that that person has completed those goals, you don't have to put in comments to that. And so I'm trying to think if I mentioned this class or the last one, your monthly check-ins, it was last class. You don't have to meet with your employees every month. I'm going to use today's date on the 17th. I had a manager who said, hey, I'm meeting with my people every week. Every week I'm checking in with them. It's just a quick 5-minute, conversation. That's great. These one-on-ones don't have to be an hour long with each of your employees. As long as you're touching base with them, finding out what they need help with, is something a goal that they've completed. Now they need another goal. If you're checking in with them every week, that's fine. But every month you do have to go in and make some type of documentation to show that you're meeting with them and helping them be successful, because that's what we're aiming to do, is tracking their successes. If they're having challenges, we want to know. That way, for the next 30 days, I'm following up with them to make sure that they're getting back on track with this particular challenge issue. So if you're meeting with them every week, that's perfectly fine. Once a month, go in here, put your notes, update their progress so that it's documentation for you. That way, when that annual review comes around, you've got your progress. You remember where you're at based on everything you've put in the system. So Dee's got these two goals left that she needs to complete out of the 4 that she previously had. Okay, where do we want to go?
Any questions on this so far? I've got a couple of nuances we're going to go over here in just a moment. But any questions?
Y'all feel free to unmute, ask away. No question is a bad question. Just send me a chat message if you don't want to unmute. Y'all are easy.
Yeah, what was it with that first class? I don't know.
Again, we're trying to hit those questions that did come in through the first training group here as well.
So if you are working on a monthly review and you're getting an error message telling you that you have to have at least one team goal, that is because the goal that you're setting has not been added to the annual review yet. And so you'll need to add that to the annual review so that it will populate into the monthly review. So you'll be able to see that. All right, Lydia stepped away. Give me 1 second. I see some things in chat. Love it. Okay, questions. What if people are in your 224 and they're terminated or you no longer manage? So well, that's a great question. Hang on just a second.
I know the answer.
Yeah, Lydia's coming.
Sorry, I had to go. We could hear people in the back of the room. Says, has Exponent defined the process? Oh, wait, hold on.
Start at the top.
I have a question. What if there are people in your 2024 annual goals that have been terminated or no longer managed? So that is because if I'm going to use Josh Hicks right now because I can see his face on my screen. So if Josh was, say, a CAM for January through June, and then he transitioned into IT in July through the rest of the year, whoever his manager was for the first part of the year, they're going to show up. Josh is going to show up under both of his managers because both managers managed him during that performance year. So the two managers can kind of collaborate. You're going to be able to talk to whoever his prior manager was. And then where was he on these goals? Maybe those goals are still the same. Maybe they've changed a little bit. Maybe they don't apply anymore. So that prior manager can close out those goals where he went. Maybe he met 100% of those goals during those 6 months. It's not something you're going to hold against them. So that's something whoever his current manager is going to take into account when they're submitting that annual review, because those goals no longer apply since he's no longer in that department. But where was he? Was he at a 1? Was he at a 2? Was he meeting, exceeding, that kind of information? So that's for the collaboration between the two managers. So he's going to show up under both of them until that year closes out. So then in 2025, manager A is no longer going to see him anymore because it has nothing to do with 2025. Does that answer the first question?
And I have a couple things I want to show them
Okay.
on that too. So thank you, Lydia, for that. So if you will go into one of the reviews that we were just looking at, not the goals, but the actual, like on the outstanding task tab.
No.
Then go to disaster.
This one's okay.
Uh-huh. Then go to options up the top. Okay, so if you have an employee that's terminated and you're not needing to complete the review, you can go in and suppress that review. That's the bottom option there. If you have an employee that, for the month of January, let's say they were only in your, they were only there 2 days and they went to another manager and you feel it's more appropriate for that manager to fill out that review, you can also change the reviewer and assign that to another manager. So hopefully that helps as well. So you have a couple options there if you're not wanting, or if you've got an employee, especially who's on leave and there's nothing to review, then you can suppress that review for that month.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a team member who hasn't come to their 1-year anniversary date, why does it show the review is due? I just completed her 90-day review. So is it showing you an annual review or is it showing a monthly review?
It's showing an annual, and I've been doing a couple of monthlies.
The reason the annual is there is because that's where you anchor the goals to. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. So I'm also wondering if that has to do with our annual review process. So
Mhm.
Goodwin in general, the way we have it set up is our annual reviews take place in April of every year.
Mm.
So it might be that date
On the
that
hire
it's
date. Mhm.
pulling, because of she was hired before.
Yeah.
So that could be why. Mr. Jones, we will take that as a takeaway, so we can confirm that and make sure we're giving the information correctly.
And it's a 2024 annual review, not a 2025, just to confirm.
2024. And I
Perfect.
didn't know
Okay.
if I could use the edit review period. I didn't want to mess with it till after this training. I didn't know if I could do that or not.
Yeah, let's not yet. Let me find out. We'll take that
Okay.
back to my product specialist and just determine.
So it's a
Perfect.
new hire that's been with us less than 90 days?
Well, I know that I just did her 90-day,
Okay.
and it'll be end of July. Will be her annual.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then has
Okay, I
exponent
have a
department.
question on the, I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry,
go
I
ahead.
think we both talked at the same time. Go ahead.
Okay, on the outstanding task tab, I have like everything grayed out. The review year and everything, it is grayed out on the outstanding task. Except for my name.
So none of these, are you talking about your 4 tabs down here? They're grayed out, or what is grayed out? The review year?
No, review year and then the all employee reviews. It is grayed out. Is that okay? Or
So do you have down at the bottom, do you have tasks under outstanding tasks?
no?
So we will need to see Rocio on a one-on-one to see if maybe those tasks have already been completed. So we will meet with you individually so we can see what's going on with yours particularly.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Kristen?
Yes, ma'am. I had an employee start today, and she's showing up for the monthly review as past due, overdue. to be submitted for her monthly review on 2/14 for January
And she started today.
today. Mhm.
Okay. That is another takeaway we'll look at. So, as Amanda mentioned earlier, y'all are our best. How do you say that? Y'all are our best
Resource.
If we don't
Yeah.
know if something's working or not working correctly or wrong, we don't know unless y'all tell us. So with somebody just starting today, we'll have to look at what's set up as far as in the background, as far as the trigger dates, and we will get back to you. Is that Kristen Craig? Is that you or is that someone like on a conference
Yes,
call?
ma'am.
It's you. Okay.
So actually, I was just looking at the settings, Lydia. I
Okay.
have it pulled up right in front of me. So because of the question before about why the new hire has an annual review, and it's the way we have it set in the back end. So we may want to revisit that. Tenure required for review is set to 0 months, probationary period 0. So it's going to kick off those things just because of the way it's set up. So we can revisit that on the back end and see if that's something we want to change. But that's why you guys are seeing those populate kind of immediately when you think, well, they haven't been here a year yet, they shouldn't have an annual review. And that's just because of the settings.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
So we have one more question. Has Exponent defined the process to upload a document in PDF or other format? So that was something that we got asked during the first session. And where did we show them the product where they
Yep.
can create?
So at the very top question mark, if you hover over that, we have a brand new tool and it's suggested enhancement. This is our Canny tool. And it's not going to look as nice as it does in your live environment. But if you click on that, you are able to see what Exponent HR is working on in our in progress tab, and then what's planned and what are future priorities. You can search and filter based on, title, performance management, right? I guarantee you that request is in Canny somewhere. And it's like social media where you're able to like it. So you give it an upvote, and the more upvotes an item gets, the more visibility it has to our development team, the more that we have the clout to say, hey, this is something our clients are asking for. So by all means, definitely let us know those enhancements that we can make. I know that wanting to put in PDFs into the performance review is something that has come up many, many times before. And so we don't currently offer that right now. The functionality is not there, but we are able to, add PDFs to an employee's personnel record through document management. And if you do not have document management within your Exponent HR rights, then I would just encourage you to get with Lydia and talk about how that could be uploaded. Is it not in there?
So I probably just am not putting in the right word. What I put was add PDF attachment, but maybe it's specific to performance management.
I do. Yeah. Just change attachment to performance and see what happens. And this is a test environment, so you may not see it. Scroll down. Maybe it's not in there. Oh yeah, these are test requests.
Oh, test request.
Yes.
Okay.
I encourage you guys to look in the live environment because these are just things that we put into for our test environment where you can see how it works. But you can put comments, you can upvote it. So the little caret at the top with the 2, that's what you would select to upvote it. And then you can leave a comment that says best idea ever. Thanks, Amanda. Just kidding. And that leave comments if you want. But you can also go back and see because our developers will respond to your comments and will respond to your requests.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
So like Amanda said, the more likes something gets or the more up requests, it's going to draw attention to their eyes and hopefully they'll add it, something that they'll add on. And again, that was under the question mark under suggested enhancement. All right, give me one more second. I have the same issue with an employee who just started February. Okay, so we already talked about that. Please let us know if we have document management as part of Exponent HR. Document management.
So you would go, second. So it would be under communication if you had it. So it doesn't look like you guys have it turned on for managers, which is a grant access thing. But again, you could, send it to you. You could upload it to their personnel file. If that's something you guys decided to do.
Right. Perfect. Okay. Any other questions right now before we continue on? All right. So we've done the outstanding tasks.
Mhm.
We've done the goal management.
Yep.
Anything else on goals? I think we're good. We've already copied over to other employees.
Did we copy over the company goal?
No, I
Okay.
don't know that.
Were we able, is that where we did it from last time, or was it the annual review? Click on it for me, just see if what can we do? I think that's what we tried and it didn't work. So copy it to other employees.
I don't think we're gonna, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
it wouldn't work.
It
I have a
wouldn't.
question.
On the annual. Yes.
Would all this translate to a new leader? So with a role change, all that you do for the performance management here for the managers, if they move under someone else, what happens to that information?
So the new manager will still be able to see the information that you had in there under that employee. And that's when it'll show up under your information as well as their information. So y'all are able to collaborate on goals and performance and ratings.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great questions.
All right. Reviews.
Yep. So on the reviews tab, it lists all of the reviews that are outstanding, everything in the status, what's been done, what hasn't been done. So kind of like your outstanding tasks tab, but you're able to kind of, filter on those, and those that have been approved will show up as well because they're no longer an outstanding task. So this is that holistic picture of everything that you have done and need to do. And yep, you can bulk submit, bulk approve, bulk delete, bulk deliver. So just you can invite to self-review. So if you are specifically working with an employee that you feel needs to be contributing to their performance review, whether it be the monthly or the annual, you can invite them to self-review from here. You can also ask for contributor input. So if that person has worked under another manager and you want them to, it's not necessarily their annual review, but they transition in the middle of the month and you want that other manager to be able to contribute to that employee's monthly review, you can invite them to contribute as well. You can also create an off-cycle review. So if there's an issue or an item that needs to be addressed that doesn't necessarily warrant waiting for the monthly review, it's something that might need to happen immediately, then you can create an off-cycle review to have that session with your employee.
Okay.
All right, if you've suppressed an employee's review, you can remove that as well through this action button. So again, these are all, the videos go over all of these. I don't want to get too into the weeds, but you do have tons of options and action items. And I will tell you guys what I told the first class. There are lots of ways to do things in Exponent HR. So you may see the same action in multiple places. That's intentional. We want to make it as user-friendly as possible. And as intuitive as possible. So we will put action items and steps in multiple places within the site. All right, and we can look at our employee dashboard. And so right now we don't have any selected, so we can select disaster. Let's see what's going on with her. All right, so she has the annual review that you can see that we submitted earlier is listed under her reviews, and we gave her a 2 meets expectations. She has a periodic review that has been approved as well.
That's your monthly.
Mm-hmm. And then it shows her goals. And so if you click on one of the goals, like the create SOP under the 2024, click that one, the check mark. Whoops. And then go to actions. So you could copy that goal to next year. So you can go into the goal and copy it to next year. It's like 2019, my eyes just played a trick on me. Like, what?
So if somebody got maybe it's a goal that you want to continue improving on, or maybe it's a goal that will be an annual goal every year. You can just copy it over to next year. Maybe it's a percentage increase. So this year they had to do 10%. They met it. Great. Next year, their goal is to increase revenue by 15%. So you don't have to recreate the wheel in creating a goal. You copy it over and then you can go and kind of edit and modify in the next year.
Yep.
These are the two goals that we auto completed. You'll see here, there is those journal entries. Anytime you see that little J icon, that's that journal entry. We did show them that journal entries can be shown or not shown.
Mhm.
Correct.
Yep. If you
Okay.
scroll down, you'll see it there, and you can expand it. And
Yeah.
the little eye icon tells you if it's visible to the employee or not. So we did one in the earlier class that was visible, and then we did one that was not visible.
Okay.
I think we had something in the chat box.
Yep. Hold on. Select employee tab. I don't have any representatives that are on my team. Okay, Rosia, we'll get back to you on a one-on-one.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So annual review, who can we do an annual review on? So we learned from the first class that even if we submit an annual review, which we submitted disasters annual review, we're not going to be able to go through that process and see it here. We think it's an overnight upload with Exponent HR, but it's going to be the same as you did with those individual goals. So you want to just submit an annual with anybody, even though we won't be able to see the outcome? Let's see.
Yeah, I went in and did the restart goals, and I haven't got it to work yet, but that's kind of what I was playing with over here. So if you go up
She
to the,
doesn't have any annual for us to submit.
I know, but go to options. Oh, wait, where are you at?
Outstanding.
Oh,
You go
go
to
to-
reviews.
Go to reviews. Yeah, now options. Nope. Oh, Casey doesn't have this grant access, right? Okay, I'm an HRA, so I can do whatever I want to. I have the ability to go in and restart them. I was trying to make it work and I have not been able to do it in test yet.
Can we go, and it's me?
No reviews match.
Sorry, guys, we're trying
could
to
try, but
think this
I don't-
through.
yeah.
So I'm logged in as me. Again, we're still on a test site, but this is that home screen that you're going to see. Your employee will see a similar one as well, but it's going to show you your performance management task is due date is approaching, if it's overdue. So your employee on their side, if you submit something to them, if you deliver that monthly review, they're going to get a notification from Exponent HR saying you have a performance management to review. I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't know the exact wording, but they're going to have something too when they first log in. So let me get in real quick. Who are we looking for? Oh, of course, kick me out.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yay. All right. I love when a good plan comes together. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Go up to options.
Do I need to go in under somebody
I
else?
don't think
No?
so. Not
Okay.
yet. Restart reviews using current templates.
So y'all will not have this option. We're just
Right.
trying to work around real quick.
Change it to 2024. Uncheck the not started, drafted, rejected, and suppressed. And then uncheck those 2 boxes. Hit OK. All right, scroll down. Oh,
We're-
wait, what does it
We're
say?
looking for D.
Yes. We only want to do hers.
Well, it's going to do all of them.
Is it really?
Mhm,
Okay.
but that's
Well, we're in
okay.
training.
We're in training.
Okay.
We're in training. We're
Cross
not-
your fingers, everybody. We'll see what happens here. All right, now go to reviews and see what we got.
We have to go.
Oh,
back
we
in
have to go back as
case.
Casey. Yeah. There we go. We
There's
got
her
the
annual.
manuals.
Woohoo!
Yay!
So we've got disasters annual review.
Look at us figuring things out on the fly.
So the other employee I created was Justa. Little Late was her last name. Just trying to have fun with it.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. So now we are in, so we've gone through Dee's entire year, done her monthly check-ins. So now we're at the point where we're doing the annual check-in or the annual review. So this is what those notifications that y'all are getting saying that it's time to draft them, go in and complete them. So here we've got D.
We need to put in a goal for her first. So we restarted it. So
Oh.
it's got to be done from the beginning.
Okay.
So we're going to go into goal management and we're going to create a goal.
So she's got 2. Do you want to close that one?
Well, I don't know. Those are probably not anchored to the annual because we
Okay.
restarted it. So
Okay.
I would let's just start add an employee goal.
For disaster. Due date. Okay. Test 3. Test 3.
All right.
And-
So the only option you have is the annual review because that's where it has to start. And we want it in the individual or team goals. So if you're getting that error that says you have to have at least one individual or team goal, it's because you're trying to add a goal in the monthly review that does not exist on the annual review. And so it's not going to let you. All right. So you're going to approve that goal.
So that is one thing that did come up on the first training is several people said, it's not letting me submit the annual review and I have goals created. But those goals were created inside the individual, not in the annual and then tiered down.
Yeah. All right. So now expand that goal and let's click on the box. Go up. Action. Copy to other employees. Select her from the drop down. So I know this seems redundant because you just put it on her annual, but now you're going to put it on her monthly. So hit OK.
Change the year.
No, I think because we're not doing monthly for 2024 yet. Oh, that we did it wrong again, didn't we?
I don't know.
Yeah, we did. Remember, we had to go back and do it the other time too. Oh, no, it didn't. Okay. Okay, now you
It's
should be
under-
able to. No, okay, hang on. Go exit for me.
I don't think.
We're not
it's-
editing the goal. We need to go to the
it's
review
thinking
itself
this. Okay, review.
or in the standing tasks.
Sorry, guys, give us a second.
Yep. Go into her. Oh, it's not showing under outstanding tasks. Is it? Oh, there it is. The annual review up there. Yep.
There.
So, okay. So you see, so once you go into the annual review, now you're going to have to give her the rating. And so any of those goals that you created are going to show up with the overall performance and then your rating for each individual goal. And this is where, like I was talking about before, you'll see the 1, 2, 3 if you want to show them the drop down. I'm pointing like they can see me pointing. The needs improvement, meets expectation, exceeds expectations. So you'll enter your rating there as well as under the goal.
So we had someone ask in the first session, what if they're all around a good employee, but they had problems with, say they had 3 goals, they met 2, that third one, they are just not getting, getting a hang of it. They didn't follow through, having problems. So can we have 2 different ratings? Yes, you can. This is their overall performance. This is going to be specific to that individual goal. So in this one, test 3, she is maybe needs improvement, but maybe she's meeting expectations overall. Maybe she's exceeding, except for this one right here. So you can have different ratings on their goals, but you want to think about overall performance versus individual goal performance. Maybe they're a rock star, but they're just having a hard time, following through a town square request or meeting this, response time because they're being pulled into other jobs or other responsibilities. So think truly on what you want to give them as that overall rating and those individual goals.
And let's say you get in here and realize, well, shoot, I forgot to go in and update their percentage. You can do it straight from here. So see where the yellow star is? It says goal completion 0, view and edit goal. So again, we give you multiple places to do things. So now you can, or just even hit the completed box and it'll do it and just save that. Okay. So we give you the opportunity to, yep. So you'll change the drop down to add your selection. And that'll open up your, I think you have to put comments in, right?
Yep, we do have to put in comments. Everything there's a comment required. And reviewers' comments, remember, those do show up for the employee to review. I can't even see what I'm typing.
Master, you got it.
Skill. And then parts of my job I need to focus on.
So these are built by, your HR department. These goals that you see that automatically populate, they're built into your templates. So they're, you can't remove them or delete them. They are, goals that are be expected to be completed.
So overall performance exceeds. Now we're going to say meets.
You have to put a comment.
Have to put another comment?
Yeah, for the goal. So this is the goal that you set up as a manager. Okay, the other 2 that were down at the bottom that Lydia put comments on, those are the goals that were set up by Goodwin that go on everyone's review that they expect to be completed. The third one is the one that she added. So it could vary by team member, it could vary by department. All right.
Again, here's that submit or approve. Submit, do I want it to go to Mr. Matt Gibson for him to review and approve? Or did Matt tell me, you handle this, you've got control of your employees? I'm going to approve. Oh, you're kidding me. It's locked me out. I took too long. Okay.
That's the monthly.
Oh, am I in monthly?
Yeah. It's up a little bit. There it is. Any questions while we're getting ready to submit this? You'll have to just put.
What is the error? Any questions, anybody?
Oh, we have something in the chat.
If we wanted to set up multiple department goals and then cascade those goals to the individuals, does that mean I need to set up a template?
So when you're setting up goals, you have the ability to cascade them to the Goodwin values. And I can show you that just in just a second. So you don't necessarily need to set up your own template.
Make sure everything has a comment.
Yeah. One second, we're invested in this process right now.
Approve. Come on.
sure it's because we restarted the reviews. It's test environment.
Yeah,
It
it's probably just a test environment,
it
but
hates me.
that's where you would get, eventually it would come back to your home screen saying to deliver monthly review. And if you real quickly look when when the next box opens, it's got the deliver to employee.
We can deliver
Yeah.
for monthly.
Oh, I can deliver the monthly?
Yeah. We don't have any other class today, so see if it allows us to do.
Deliver to employee. So you would get that on that annual review too.
And so once you deliver that review to the employee, especially those of you who are new and have not had your own reviews come through, the employee will then receive a notification via email and in Message Center and Exponent HR that they have a review that requires their acknowledgement. So they will go in and see their review, be able to view any visible journal entries, but they'll see their rating, they'll see the goals that were set for them, and they will acknowledge that review.
So now D is gone from deliver monthly. We've delivered it, so now it's gone.
So click on the employee dashboard. Let's just see if maybe, and select her, see if it's the training environment gods are with us today. I don't know. Okay,
Delivered.
so now it shows as delivered. And so you can see the status of that on what the employee has done, and you'll see when the employee has acknowledged it.
Can I take over an employee's access
Yep.
here?
Take over disaster.
Company password.
Hopefully it's on her screen now.
Disaster. 306. Yep.
Please acknowledge your employee performance review. So that's what Dee sees when she logs into her Exponent HR. And it gives a link directly to go to the review. And you go into the review itself over on the corner. And there's the acknowledge button. So if you're expecting, if the employee is wanting to have an opportunity to, again, this is just where it comes down to your process, right? What does the company expect you guys to do with your employees? But if you notice, that employee did not have the ability to edit their review. So once you deliver that to the employee, that means it's complete. And you and the employee have met, discussed, and the employee is not going to be surprised by what they receive. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the expectation. Okay. All right, the employee will be able to see reviews for previous years, as will you in your management dashboard. You can review previous reviews for that employee. So if they worked for a different manager in 2023 and you want to see how how that compares to what they did for that manager, you're able to access that employee's 2023 review through your dashboard as well. So you can see that historical performance.
Yep. And here it just shows them what our overall rating methodology is for Exponent HR, and that's the overall, not the goal rating. That's the overall as an employee. So they're able to see if they were rated. Let's see. Does she see? Do they see here what their rating is?
Click on the box. Yeah, go into reviews. And then click on, she'll only have that one, and click that thing.
Come on.
Where does it show it? Scroll down. Did we not give her? I thought we did an overall.
We did an
performance.
overall. We did.
Oh, it's because it's the periodic.
But we
have to
did it
look at
on a
the annual.
monthly. Yeah.
Change the
is-
review year to 24. And then go back to reviews. Do we have the, oh, where's the annual?
I think we,
Snarkies.
it's okay. Still learning. But this is what the employee's dashboard looks like, what they see, what they receive. So,
Ideally, the 2024 review would be under the review tab and they would be able to see their review criteria and what they met. Again, test environment doesn't always cooperate.
so any questions on anything right now? Something that you're having problems with? Hopefully a couple of y'all went in and are trying to work side by side on your computer. Rocio, I know you are. That's why you told us the information you're missing, so that's great. But does anybody else have any kind of questions, something you've ran through maybe last month or last year, and you just want us to try to run through on a test site to see what it looks like?
It's okay if you're still a little bit lost and a little bit confused. Again, I highly, highly encourage you guys to take the time to watch the training videos because they do take you step by step. It's a little bit difficult when you're protecting privacy of employees and in a training environment to actually, kind of do it the way that it needs to be done. But our demo, our videos are exactly that. It's a demo site with non-existent people and takes you through step by step. So I just highly recommend making the time to do that. And you can have those videos pulled up while you're doing your reviews and just follow along if that's better, because that's how I learn is by doing as I'm seeing. We do have our help. So if you go back up to the question mark, at the very top, help for this page, that will take you immediately to the table of contents for that particular page. Things are hyperlinked where you can kind of go down the rabbit hole, so to speak, because that's what happens to me when I go into the table, into our help document. I end up going down the rabbit hole. I follow the next link and the next link and the next link. We also have our support number at the bottom of every page. You hover over contact us, gives you the telephone number for support as well as, their times of operation. And you guys, if you're asking questions about, how to do your team's reviews, then you are going to want to talk to the admin line. If you have a question about, what do I as an employee do, then, you would want the employee line.
So that basically means when you call Exponent HR, it's going to give you two options: employee line, because that's specifically about me, my PTO, my checks, how do I find this on my profile? But if it's about managing your employees, option 2 is the admin line. So they'll be able to walk you through stuff that option 1 won't. Option 2 will be specific to, as an administrator, which all of you are, to your employees.
And if you get the wrong line, they'll just transfer you to the right one. So don't worry about it. All right, I feel like we got a lot more done in this class, you guys. So thank you. I apologize to the first class who might be watching this video that it didn't go as smoothly for the first time.
So Rick and Letty are here as resources to y'all in regards to Exponent HR. As far as performance management, it is something newer to them. Depending on how much they've gone in and played with the system, they may not have all the answers either, but they are definitely a resource to you. If they don't have the answers, they will reach out to me. Again, we can, if we don't have the answers when they reach out to me, then we'll go to Exponent HR. So they are there as a resource, but may not have all the information. But we will, as a team, get you the information that you need. Well, thank you all. Again, we have this recorded. I will be sending out the recording by the end of the week. If there are any questions that you can come up with between now and then, or now and whenever you're doing your reviews monthly or annually, just feel free to reach out to me. We appreciate your time and your patience with us. Like we said, we are all learning here. We never know what we don't know until we come across it. So we appreciate your time, your feedback, and let us know if there's anything we can help you with. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.